Ask Tom on Home Show.
Richard from Katy has a question about a frozen fire.
Yeah, because this happened to him, Tom, on February 15th.
Oh, Lord.
Does that day ring a bell? February 15th?
Yeah, well, it's a lot of those days, but yes.
It rings a lot of bells. Yeah, that was the day, as Richard writes, that this fire happened the day it got down to like 5 degrees here, at least out in Katy. Maybe it even got colder. He says, I just yesterday had my claim approved, and I have questions around whether to use a full-service restoration company or act as a GC myself, a general contractor myself, and sub out all the work. It's a big claim. What's your advice?
First off, your insurance company's not going to let you be your own GC. They don't like that at all. So you have to have a third party, and there's a lot of legal stuff behind it with the homestead stuff and everything else. So you're going to have a general contractor. Now, in the old days, we used to teach people how to be their own general contractors. They would hire someone to sign all the paperwork and pay them a fee, and then you would take over and be the general contractor, and whatever happened, it was your fault. That person was off the hook. But the check's going to go to another person to sign off with you before any of those checks come through. So get with your insurance company. They're not going to stamp approval on that unless you try to get around the rules. But the best thing is, because this is a big job, you're going to have enough to deal with your life, with picking out all the new fixtures and finishes and going through the different options you're going to have with your windows, your doors, how your budget's working. It's not going to be 100%. You're going to have to go out and find and dig up some more money to get it fully done. I've been through a fire in my own house, and I know that usually about 80% to 90% covers the actual cost, but with all the upgrades people want to do with new lights and stuff, you're going to end up having to find more money to pay for this. So you're going to have a huge amount of work to do. Let a general contractor who has the subcontractors, who will work with you with the payments with the insurance company, who knows how to work with an insurance company. And there are a lot of contractors that like working with insurance companies. As a homeowner, it's going to be possible. So you're going to want an experienced restoration company to do this. I mean that. I hired one myself. I didn't even act as my own general contractor when my house burned down.
Well, and that was a question I was going to ask you right there, Tom. When you had your fire,
right?
I know that you put a lot of work into rebuilding that house. Is there a point at which...
And I wasn't the contractor.
Yeah, is there a point at which, you think, I don't know if I want to rebuild the house?
Well, you have to rebuild because there's other legal stuff with your insurance company. So the money has to go into the rebuilding of the house, so the house is worth something. You can't just take the money and walk away and say, okay, I'm done.
Right.
That doesn't work that way.
Yeah, that's not what I meant. What I meant was like you went to a lot of trouble to restore and rebuild what was there. I'm saying, as opposed to just tear it down and rebuild from scratch. What's the point at which you make that decision?
That was going to be my second point,
okay.
Because somebody was thinking the other way, is I wish I hadn't tried to save anything. I wish I had torn the house down. It would have cost me probably back then about $5,000 to $6,000 to have the whole house taken down to the slab and hauled away. Instead, because I don't do a lot of restoration work, we saved the old brick, we saved the fireplace, we saved the staircase. I don't know why I did that. And what happened is it cost me $26,000, $27,000 just to do the demolition very carefully and have it hauled away, when I could have had another $20,000 to put into the new home build, and I could have had more opportunity to do different things in there and not just rebuild it like it was on the first floor. And I made some changes, but the second floor I made a lot more changes. But as far as that goes, that was a lesson that I learned that I share with many people when it comes to these big fires and things of this nature.
Been a builder for years and a human even longer, and he shares his experience. Go ahead and click that Ask Tom button, send in the questions. I said to one of my daughters just today, now, darling, I've been around the sun a few times more than you. I'm going to give you some advice. And Tom's been around a whole bunch of times, and he will share that advice with you just like that on what to do best. And we like to post a new one every day. Tom creates these for us to put up every day, and we post them at HomeShowRadio.com, our YouTube channel, and of course our Facebook page.